Hey guys, so today I'm going to do another tutorial. It's going to be strictly on just how to contour and highlight. Usually I just kind of slap my makeup on. I don't walk you guys through of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So today I just thought it'd be best if I go into details of where I contour, why I contour, and what I'm doing, like the motions I'm doing and how to achieve this look. So again, I do like to have a super sculpty face, so I contour all the time. So hopefully you guys like this video, like this look, and give it a try yourself. Okay, so first my skin is super dry, it always is, especially during the winter months, but I'm gonna take this hydrating stick. It's from Ulta, and it literally just looks like a fat glue stick. But I'm just gonna put it all on my face. And it's like so like refreshing feeling. It's amazing and I love it. So I'm just gonna take a clean brush and go ahead and blend that all in. So next I'm gonna go ahead and go in with primer. So I'm gonna use Smashbox. It's just a pore minimizing primer. I feel like sometimes you could really see my pores, so I do like that they offer a minimizing pore primer. I'm just taking the same brush that I used the hydrating stick with and gonna blend this all in. And when I do put on primer, I always make sure that I'm getting like really into like the nose area and the forehead, because during the day that is the part that like cracks the most, on me at least. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my foundation. I'm using the Almay 160 Natural Beige. And today I'm just gonna slap it on with a brush, and then I'm gonna go over with a beauty blender. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. And I'm just gonna really paint it on to start. Okay, so it's like really painted on my skin, but it's not blended at all. So I'm just gonna take a damp beauty blender. And really pat it into the skin. And obviously there's like little parts that I just can't reach with the beauty blender. So I just take a small little brush and I just kind of make sure I really get into the creases. Okay, so next I'm gonna go ahead and conceal under my eyes. I'm gonna use the ColourPop. I just got a new shade though, so this is ColourPop in the shade 10. So it's super, super light. But again, I'm like really fair right now, so it does work for me. And I only highlight a little bit of my forehead. If it's super, super highlighted, it kind of draws attention to your forehead. And if people don't like their forehead, or if they think it's too big, that you don't really want to highlight that area as much. So now I'm gonna go in and contour. Sometimes I find it easiest to contour with powder, but for today's video, I'm gonna do it with foundation. I'm just using a foundation that's darker than my skin right now. So it's actually a Lancome foundation. It's super dark for, you know, for me right now. So I'm gonna go in and take just a clean brush, and I'm just gonna dip it at the top, and you can see, and I'm just gonna draw it on, and where I start my contour is right above my cheekbone. So you could see like my natural cheekbone. There's just like a natural shadow on mostly everyone's face. So you could see my natural shadow. So I'm actually gonna go a smidge above it. If you don't go above it and you go below it, your face will actually look more droopy and not so sculpted. So that's why it's best to go just above the natural line, like that. And then I always contour my jawline. This helps with making sure that it doesn't look like you have a double chin, or if you have like extra fatty around your neck, whatever it is. Contouring your jawline is awesome, and it seriously does wonders to your face. But there are a couple different ways you could contour your jawline. So for me, I don't have a super long face at all, but I do like to highlight just under my normal jawline bone. So I would put it under the bone. If you put it on the side of your face, like above the bone, your face tends to look more shorter than it is. So obviously I like to make my face look longer and slimmer. So that's why I would go underneath more so than on top. I'm gonna just go right under the natural jawline. And then I take it up just right behind the jaw into the ear. So you could kind of see like the sharpness already coming about, even though I haven't even blended it in, but you could see the sharpness compared to this side. It just kind of looks like blah, like, I don't know, hangy, not so tight skin. And then, okay, so everything's probably a little almost like dry on my face now, since it's been a few minutes of everything just sitting there and settling into my skin, which is fine. But then you kind of need to make sure the tip of your brush is a little more dampened so it blends better. So I'm just gonna take this little brush and I'm just gonna put some dewy mist on it. A lot of people like to do just a matte type of mist, and then at the end they finish off with highlighter and a dewy mist, but I kind of do the dew throughout the whole process of the makeup. So I'm just gonna really, with like loose hands, and I don't wanna drag it downward, because when you drag it down, again, you're not getting that full sculpt, and you're gonna make it look like you have a saggier jaw or a saggier cheekbone line. So I'm just gonna try to rub it right in place, and if anything, work my way upward. So the reason for contouring your forehead is to make it look smaller. I feel like no one's like super like satisfied with their forehead saying, oh my gosh, I love my forehead, it's so small. Not many people say that. So putting contour on it and darkening this area does make it look like shorter, smaller forehead. Okay, so just to darken up the contour areas, I'm going to take my Bare Minerals. I don't even know what shade it is, but it's super dark and has like a reddish hint to it, which I love. I'm not a fan of just like super brown tones. I like the browny red tones. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on a clean brush. And I'm just gonna really darken up the areas that I just contoured. And using powder after you did the liquid contour, that also helps to set it in place, so it's not like a problem that you're going over it with a powder contour. It's just really actually helping set it and keep it in place on your face. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Beauty Blender and buff out the highlighter, or the highlight. And And again, it's pretty dry on my face, so you do want to dampen your sponge. And then it is okay, since your highlighters, it's like a sharp line, it is okay to drag it into the contour. I would say doing it this way is way better than dragging your contour into the highlight. Then it's just gonna look like a muddy mess almost. So it is okay to bring the highlight into the contour to make it more of a smooth transition. Okay. So now that my highlight and contour is on my face, I'm gonna go ahead and contour my nose and my bottom lip, and then just right here, just to get a fuller effect of having a really sculpted face. So I'm gonna go in with my Ulta contour palette, the one I use every time, and I'm actually gonna take this medium shade right here, and I'm just gonna, I usually take it from the top of my, or from the bottom of my eyebrow all the way down the nose. I just feel like when you contour the whole nose and you tie it into your eyebrows, everything almost just looks like flawless and all tied together. There's not like mismatchy spots or anything. So that's why I take it so high up. Then I'm also just gonna line my lower bottom lip. Doing this makes your lip look more like the pouty effect, a little more droopy and bigger. So it is always good to contour it just under the fattiest part, the biggest part of your lip. So you could see it almost just made my lip look a little plumper, bigger, whatever you want to call it. And I don't really blend it out from there. I just kind of, you know, smooth it around a few times and I leave it because I'm going to go in with, oh my gosh, losing my train of thoughts. I'm going to go in with a lip pencil anyways and trace my lips. But you can see it made my bottom lip look a little plumper. Okay, so for blending out my nose contour, I just take one of the same beauty blenders I was using. It still has excess highlight on it, foundation, whatever it is, which is what you want. So I just kind of blend it upward. And then I kind of go just straight down the center, just to make sure this part is the light part and then the outers are the darker parts to make you look like you have a smaller nose. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and set everything. I'm gonna use my favorite powder, which is the RCMA, and I'm gonna go in with a different beauty blender, but this one is just, it does wonders with this powder. But you first wanna make sure you have like no extra foundation in the creases of your eyes or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go in and, you know, make sure everything is super buff under there before I set it. Make sure your nose creases are all buffed out and your forehead. Okay, I'm just gonna go right in and set it. So I always do that step, and then I will go in if I don't like the shape of this, if I thought I brought it too far down or if it's too far up, whatever the case may be, I always go back in and just tighten this up. Sometimes I'll use the translucent powder, or sometimes I'll just go in with like a super light foundation or like a matte powder. Okay, so I have two, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. It just seems a little lighter and has some warmer tones to it. So I'm just gonna take a clean brush Okay, so you can see it just kind of cleaned it up a little bit, made it a little sharper, which is great. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and just set it. So you just wanna follow where you contoured. So you don't wanna get it into your contour necessarily, but you wanna just get it right on the same line of it and bring it down. And then you wanna be careful not bringing this white translucent powder into your jawline contour, because it's just gonna take away from what you did, and then there was no purpose of doing it. So just kind of make sure you're right above the jawline and right under the contour. And then I try to make it as straight of a line as possible, just so the sculpting of my face is symmetrical and it looks tight and sculpted. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for about 5 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna touchen up my eyebrows. I actually did my eyebrows first thing this morning when I woke up, so they are a little bit done, but I'm gonna touch them up real quick. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe away all the translucent powder. I'm gonna take just a loose, simple brush. It's super soft. You don't wanna necessarily wipe everything away. You just kind of wanna take soft hands, light hands, whatever you wanna call it, and just kind of wisp it away. I do like to keep some of it there just to really highlight under the eyes. So yeah. So you could see how highlighted under the eyes it is already, just from the translucent powder. Since this is a highlighting and contouring video, I'll just go ahead and do my eyes off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I went ahead and did my eyes off camera. I did like a winey color tone on my eyes. I put false eyelashes on, did bottom mascara and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off with my daily routine. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with blush next. And since my eyes are like the reddy wine tone today, I could do extra blush just so it all ties together. It wouldn't look weird at all. And I just take my blush and kind of go almost right over the contour, if not right above the contour. And I feel like fishy face is the easiest way to find your cheekbones. Okay, and then I always go in with my favorite blush, Super Hot Pink, and I love it. And I just do one little dab, and I just do right on the cheekbones. And I'm a type of person that my blush falls off like throughout the day. It's the weirdest thing. It's like the one product that does not stay on my skin. So that's why I do use extra blush a lot of the times. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put on some highlighter. It's nowhere near the champagne pop that I use, but it's e.l.f. brand, super cheap and affordable. And it has like a goldy bronzy tone to it. It's super pretty. So I'm just gonna take my brush, go right over the blush. I'm just gonna highlight right here. I'm gonna take my champagne pop real quick and just kind of dab my finger in it and do the bottom of my nose and my Cupid's bow. I actually forgot to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. So I'm just gonna take my favorite eyeshadow for the inner corners, which is that one. It's called Luminous. And I'm just gonna use my finger. All right, I'm gonna finish off with my lips. I have my favorite lip liner, which is Milani. Voila. I'm gonna finish off with some finishing spray. I actually got this new one a few days ago. It's a Revolution brand, and it's called Rose Fizz, and it actually has like a rose scent with like some lavender. I don't know, it's super weird, but I actually really like it.